What's up, everyone? It's Jambor's new podcast. You can watch it on YouTube, you can listen on Spotify, and whatever else. But this thought tonight will, of course, go around Eurovision. We'll also focus a little bit on Sanremo and the overall quality which is delivered, but in the context in leaders. Leadership, it's, in my opinion, extremely important part of any single process, of any single activity, of any single progress. We can see it in politics, even we don't need to agree. We can see it in businesses, but for some reason, of course, we can see it in Eurovision world, we can see it in national selections. But the thing is that I think we are losing the pace because, in my opinion, Eurovision is not having leaders. And also so many other countries in, I don't want to say televisions, but I want to say that, let's say, the Eurovision shows and Eurovision spirit doesn't have real leaders. We never hear where the project would like to be led, what it's like the goal for the next 5 years, where to progress, what is the thing. We always hear some very universal thoughts, we always hear some very universal comments, which basically means that there is no vision or it's lack of vision, because those things must be named. Even though if they won't be fulfilled, I think one thing is to have a goal, and one thing is that the leaders in this case, in EBU's case, it's the leader of the Eurovision itself. Like we have now two Martins, and we hear like stuff how the thing is complex, which it is, and it is. There are no simple answers, like forget simple answers, right? But we also hear things like how now the artists must be really feel safe and blah blah blah. Like, okay, those are like very small actually technicalities, but we never hear where Eurovision should go, where should progress, what is the goal. Is it a national expo of national music? And then, therefore, it's not a contest in the right way, because with the contest, there must be something very valuable, and this comes only with valuable players, with valuable songs, with valuable all of it. It's a complex thing again. On the other hand, if it's just local, it's more likely an expo than a contest, because this is, first of all, extremely subjective to all the countries. It's, after all, not connecting them, because, and the reason is quite clear, it's something which showcase them, but it doesn't connect them. Actually, this actually shows their differences, because otherwise those wouldn't be traditional, ethical, very local music stuff. Because if they are bigger than this, they already would reach other countries, right? But this is why they are local. If we want to compete in this is fine, but for me, this is not enough. And I will give you one example, which is this year's Sanremo. Why, and let's get back to this topic, why leaders are extremely important and they have a huge impact on the shows, of the outcomes of the shows, and all over everything around it. Sanremo, for recent years, was showrun, or the creative artistic director as they call it, was Amadeus. He took Sanremo from the local dying brand and reached the sky, finding Måneskin but many other artists, and shown also to Eurovision world, which is for Italian something still, like, let's say, strong word, harsh a little bit, because it doesn't showcase the real music as they would like to hear. Because, you know, in past years we've seen, for example, top 10 artists in each Sanremo, and they would all can reach top 10 at Eurovision by their own quality and music quality and performing quality and the complex stuff around themselves, because they were like big stars in compared to so many artists which were like, let's try Eurovision, maybe I will become famous. It's a completely different, skill set. On the other hand, this year we see Carlo Conti completely redone Amadeus's work, and now from Eurovision perspective, almost Sanremo is not competitive at all. It, from my own perspective, it completely lost its international quality and became absolutely local, which wouldn't be nothing against it. Like, after all, Sanremo, it's Italian competition, it's made for Italy, and it's not for qualification of Eurovision. This comes as a bonus if the winner wants to, and then therefore they are not obliged to represent the country. It's a little bit different context, but on this context and on this concept also, I really would like to demonstrate how one person, and probably the team, but the one person with a different vision can completely change Eurovision, Sanremo, or any other show. It's about leaders, and leaders has vision. Carlos Conti vision probably is make it more local, make it about like more traditional Italian music, maybe more intellectually artistic, which on the other hand might also be a little bit boring. And this is not because I'm saying it that Eurovision needs to have up-tempo songs only and dancing and songs about orgasms and sex and gay sex and whatsoever. No, actually I don't agree with this. I think Eurovision in general should be something what Amadeus's Sanremo was. Top quality with the export potential. Because what Europe doesn't have, and I think it struggles, we can see it in politics, we can see it everywhere, it always has a platform which it cannot really use, because we create platform, or somebody in the past created a platform, we are using it, but we don't feel the purpose of the platform, we underestimate its power, and we underestimate its potential, and basically we're not reaching it, because what we are caring of is if artists feel safe, which actually they come here to compete, and they should be professionals at the first stance, and they should go with all the treats with professionals should go or don't go. And this like, I understand why this is a concern, but it's wrong. We are not even developing artists even at Eurovision, which should be a top-notch, like top of the top concert contest of being like who's the best in Europe. And it's becoming its caricature again after several years of hard work. And Sanremo also kind of becoming its caricature of what it was already, like in one season everything went completely downside. At Eurovision the process is longer, little details evolve in something which already shows that we probably wouldn't have a really like a huge hit export wise at Eurovision. I don't expect we will have another Tattoo, which basically was a rarity, or we will have another Måneskin. I don't expect it. And why don't I expect it? Because we don't focus on quality. And in my opinion, Europe, not just EU, but the Europe, like all the countries, we are like 700 million people. And we are dominated by US music more likely, or Swedish at some point. And we are very small-minded in this, and we try to get everything locally, get back to the roots of our own music. But then, you know, where it leads, we are closing each other in front of each other, basically showing what other countries don't care about. This locality, this is why they go to your country to visit it. But if your country going somewhere else international, it's okay if it has like your country feelings and vibes, the roots. But it's also fine that it shows some much bigger, higher potential value. And this mostly doesn't have. And this comes to more like in Sanremo's way nowadays, this year, goes to more intellectual way. Okay, that was the decision of Carlo Conti, and this is his vision, and this is fine. Because it leads somewhere, it shows where it goes. Of course, for us Europeans, this is a downgrade, this is downside, this is not that interesting as it was before, just like this by snap. So one person can have such power to completely change one brand in an extremely short period of time to something from extremely interesting to something which is like, I don't even care who's gonna win. Even though I like some music, I cannot cope with it. Of course, I'm not Italian, so it's not my thing. But by this amazing example, I can really demonstrate how extremely important are leaders, that under some command, and this is not also for everyone, it can like everything can really bloom, and then in the change of a people, one person can also cut all those blooming flowers off just like that. And we are not feeling it because we think about only what goes to Eurovision. Oh my god, this song and this song. But if you look at it by the quality standards, at least some, we are completely losing it actually. We are completely losing it, and we are doing also this one mistake as we are focusing only on studio versions. Then we are looking at performances. Sometimes there are completely different things, like the studio version is brilliant, like it works, it would work in radio, but then you see the performance and it's like, but okay, but can somebody who can really deliver do it? Because this is what I see so many times, and we're focusing on visuals, we're not focusing on anything else. Of course, the strategy is clear, no juries in Eurovision semifinals, there is no quality check, but also this says how empty the Eurovision is becoming, because we need to have a bigger, higher goal. And in my opinion, it must have a leader who said our goal is that this year at least 3 songs out of 37 will reach international audience on Spotify and so on streaming platform. And next year the 10, and the other years we would at least 20 songs or all the finalists to have such a quality potential that it will attract the world to listen to this music, because otherwise it's irrelevant. And Eurovision step by step went this way, and out of the sudden nothing, and it won't change, because first of all, without the proper leaders who will have such goals, such visions, try to change things, try to push forward things, we wouldn't be able to grow it up, we wouldn't be able to change it, we wouldn't be able to bring some principles. Like now I see that in steering group there are people, like there are countries who were part of the scandals why the juries are out. This, for me, this is actually unbelievable. Like it's good for those people that they can influence it, but really, can some of them really influence it? And which way will they influence it? Like, where are the leaders? Where are the people who would it's not about aggressivity, it's not about being Trump, it's about to be a strong personality, to be a strong leader. Like, I think this is completely missing. It feels like a corporation where everything is a little bit, the good idea starts in here, but in here, this is completely different idea, but it has nothing to do with this initial idea. And it's like a gray zone. And Eurovision, as all the countries invest a lot of money into it, the hosting country invests a lot of money into it, it wants to be rememberable, but not rememberable just we did it and we achieved this goal, because it's extremely hard to produce such a show and everything around it. It is extremely challenging. There is a very short period of time also to manage all of it. But also there must be some kind of progress, not digress, because it makes no sense. And if there is a digress, I really would like to see it. We would like Eurovision to go more local. And of course you can tell it's on every single country what they will deliver. It is. But they are motivated by what? They are motivated by rules, and they would be motivated by leaders. And by the leaders, I don't think just Martin Osterdahl or the other Martin Green. I mean also the top big 5 countries. I think big 5 countries who takes this contest extremely seriously, bring the AAA game every single time, and the other countries try to top them, because they can basically bear them on their back, on their shoulders, but they don't do it. Also, we can see that even this year, I'm pretty sure BBC has no clue what they are doing. It feels already like that they are kind of lost, they are overcomplicated. What Eurovision is, this is for me another ununderstandable thing. Like, Eurovision is what you make it. Eurovision is not anyhow specific. It's a huge platform, and by this saying, you basically want to try some part of people who are the most vocal. But you should think in the international audience space. But the thing is, if you know what it means, or what their goal it is, like it really means. Spain is completely lost. Okay, they say in Spanish very often defense, but it's our music. This is what we listen. Like, I've been to Spain last 5 years, almost a year, like in total. And you don't listen to such music. It's not played in radio. Very rarely. There are more different hits, different music. So this is what some maybe Eurovision base fans really kind of listens, or TV audience maybe somehow, but it's not what you listen in general. It's not the music you really, really listen in mass. Of course, now it might pop out. This is not it. France at least feels they take it extremely seriously, and they bring in quality most of the time. The thing with France is, of course, they don't bring really modernity. They don't also bring what people really listen in France that much, that often, something what represents the current state of France music industry. This is my only downside for France. But on the other hand, they want to take it seriously. They bring serious artists who can deliver, artists who brings additional value. Okay, it's still French thing. I understand this nationalism, but on the other hand, it's also a quality drive, and also this France is a brand itself. It is, regardless we like it or not. Germany, I think they're trying this time, and that time I saw the rules of the national selection. It makes no sense. It's overcomplicated. It doesn't feel even fair already. We see so many very weird things, but okay, at least in Germany now is a claim we want to win Eurovision, but it somehow also kind of feels like we know the formula for Eurovision. But like, I don't know, like, bring the best artist. It doesn't mean the most famous. It can be a rookie also, but super talents. Create a platform in your own countries which can thrive and say, we want pro-export music. It doesn't affect the local stuff, but we want also Germany to put on the map of music, not for one night at Eurovision, but for the whole year, and the next year again, and the next year again. And actually we want it for other countries to do so, because we all profit from it. That maybe will also be ready or available, and also with some reform a little bit. It would be a goal to reduce the cost of Eurovision, because maybe the Eurovision will be able to, suck some part of the share of those money and put it into it, make the cost cheaper, or make it bigger, or make it more interesting, or whatsoever. But it also comes to national countries who, okay, we want to export, like we want to showcase what we do in here. But wouldn't be much better if you export what you did there, which has much higher, bigger value than just this one night? Wouldn't be interesting among your music industries to create a platform which basically will set, it's a pro-export platform. This is something what with Greek vibes will internationalize the music, and will be a platform for the ones who won't just make it in here in 6 million Greece or 10 million Greece, but also abroad. This is a platform for you. Other platforms are for the local artists who want to stay local, and this platform is for the ones who want to make it to the world, and not just one hit wonder to represent the country, but the ones who don't just want to represent the country, but themselves abroad, to become famous in Europe, to become famous in the world. And it can be built, like it was built in Sweden, 10 million country. I was just listening recently a podcast when one artist was saying, our country is like, we are small, Czechoslovakia, we are small in compared to Scandinavian countries. Yes, but we are actually bigger by the number of people living in those markets. We are small only in our minds. We are small to having big goals, big dreams, big visions, and big leadership. We are completely small in this. We rather play those political game which leads nowhere and only decreases the quality of the products we are delivering. And we will become even more irrelevant, because other countries, other continents, they don't sleep. And this is what we want for our music, to have this 1 year extra super contest, and that's it. Or we want this super extra contest which all world is looking at, what such a contest will bring to the world of music, because that contest will be the final, final exclamation mark for those artists that will show like we are the best in the world. Actually, it's not you in the US, it's not you in China or wherever, it's here in Europe. But we need to support this, and it's not coming from any side. I'm always saying from head of delegation and so on, like, this is the formula, this is what it fits for Eurovision, this is it. But this is a terrible thinking, in my opinion. It should be motivate your country and your business partners and everybody that this platform, because this platform can lead you to much more money. It's a business after all. It can lead you to much bigger fame. It will open you another markets unknown. It can be for different bunch of artists than you're normally working at, But because we are using this Eurovision, and we cannot really describe that it's a platform which is watched by so many millions of people, that it's the perfect marketing instrument. But for this, those television also need to say, but we are the kings in here, in that, and we decide what the quality also is. Those artists must be perfect singers, performers, everything. There must be complex. And of course, in some countries, the bunch of people who can already do it is bigger than in the other countries. But this must be built step by step. Nothing will change overnight in such a big complex, because Eurovision, after all, is not Sanremo. Eurovision is built by 40 countries, after all, and they are all responsible for Eurovision result. In Sanremo, one person can change things a lot. At Eurovision, one person can really show a way where it can lead and motivate the others to follow this path. But I want to hear, where is the dream, where the dreams lies on. Because being united, it's fine. But shaking hands and holding each other's around the shoulders, it's not a competition. We also need to compete. Only competition will thrive to the fact that we can deliver such a goal. But do somebody has the goal? Do we have a leader? Does those countries who do Eurovision has real leaders that they can affect their own markets like they are doing it in Italy actually? I don't think they are there. I don't think the right people are in the right positions. I don't think somebody even wants such people in the positions. It's harder to work with them, but they overall mostly deliver results. And the question is if we want it. And I'm asking the other way, why music industries in just such countries doesn't really want it. Maybe they are also lacking of leaders, but there must be someone everywhere with the vision, with the balls, and should have also be given a support to deliver such goals and at least be given a chance. But I'm normally stressed out, or I'm almost pissed that in like biggest contest in the world doesn't have it. There is nothing. I still didn't hear what is it about. I hear completely irrelevant answers to questions which are just the political statements. But we need people who maybe are a little bit more naive, but really has a drive and really wants to deliver something, and will put the rules and the set of rules and the conditions the way that it's also possible to be done, that you will motivate the others to follow this formula if they want to succeed. And they will see that if they will succeed in mass, everybody actually will be extremely happy. And then also the competition will be more thriving, it will be more prestigious, and much more people will be watching it. And also probably much more brands would like to connect their brands with them. And also this market might compete and after all deliver more money into the project overall. So profit for everyone. But we need to find those leaders, and those leaders need to really try to deliver some visions. Otherwise, it's basically like a corporation which it's paid by us, by our taxes, which brings in 1 or 3 nice events, and then it's over. And then we're waiting another year for a miracle, which will for sure not come, because there are no conditions, no visions, and no leadership to really bring them in. But maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. If you heard until in here my very flame talk, but I want also you to wake you up, because it's not just about Eurovision. It's Eurovision, don't touch our Eurovision. No, imagine it's a huge platform with a huge potential. And this is how I see it. I see it as an opportunity, a huge opportunity, which we are, for some reason, really using absolutely badly. And it's bare minimum, which is artists are performing on the stage. And this is it. And this is not enough, in my opinion. And there must be a way how to work around it, how to work with it, and how to motivate the countries, the public broadcasters or the other broadcasters, how to motivate EBU leadership, how to motivate the people who has power and influence to really do something about it, and to leave something behind them as a heritage. because we have it from the past, but it's slipping in the middle of our hands or through our fingers, and I think this is shame a little bit, and it will be harder to restart. Later we will start to talk about it, and later we will start to do something about it. So this is what I wanted to say. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video or this podcast on Spotify if you're listening there. Leave me some comments. You can buy me a coffee, you can give me a super like, you can become members to be delivered such podcast sooner. Definitely watch my videos, what I'm creating, because there are a lot this year. I don't know how I made it, but I really watched almost everything. I'm sorry that I didn't focus too much on Lithuania this year, even I wanted, but it was impossible for me to do, like I'm only one person army. But I will be delivering you this critique, and also constructive critique, I would say, in this way. I will try to keep it as professional as possible, but also with my authenticity, which is the brand, which is the value I also have, and I understand it. And I want you to be delivered this honestly, because you deserve it, and I'm kind of sick of those political games around and so on with zero value of talking. They have zero value. So this is it. See you next time. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye.